Hey, what's up everyone, it's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'll be sharing with you my Blackoween and my October reading plans. So if you want to know all the books that I plan on reading this month, please stay tuned. And I am back, and also if you're new to my channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. So as you know, I am one of the co-hosts for Blackoween, and I'm really excited for this month, and it has already begun. Today is October the 2nd, and you know what, better late than never, but I'm here to share with y'all my Blackoween TBR. But first, I'll save the best for last. We're going to talk about what I'll be reading, my other books I'll be reading in October, which is just maybe 3, and the rest is mostly for Blackoween. So for one of the books that I'm going to be reading in October is going to be for Bree from Bree Reads and I's Zori Neale Hurston read along that we've been doing for the majority of the year. And so the next book that we're going to be reading for October is the complete series by Zori Neale Hurston, and I really love this cover of her. And then it has the back of it as well. And so these are the complete stories of her. So it says, this first collection of Zori Neale Hurston's short fiction, most of which appeared only in literary magazines during her lifetime, and some of which have never before been published, shows the evolution of one of the most important writers of our time. The complete stories include an array of narratives like The Gilded Six Bits of a Loving Couple Almost Torn Asunder, Hurricane, where readers are introduced to the formidable couple of Janie and Tea Cake from their eyes were watching God, and one of Zora's signature stories, Spunk, a tale of 2 men fighting over 1 woman, only to be thwarted by their own egos. Spanning her career from 1921 to 1955, these stories attest to Hurston's tremendous range and are an invaluable reflection of her imagination and talent as a storyteller. So I'm really excited to get into this, especially with these complete stories that, have never been published or people don't really know much about. So I'm really excited to get into this, and I can't wait to have this live discussion with Bree. So this is a book that I'll be reading for October, in October. And then these 2 books, I'm going to do this to myself. They're chunky books all together, but I'm going to do it because I didn't read this one last month in September, so I'm pretty much playing catch up. So these 2 books are The Veiled Throne and The Speaking Bones by Ken Liu. These are the last 2 books in the Dandelion series, and they're really chunky, as you can see. I don't want to read the synopsis because, well, actually I might as well go ahead and read them. So it says, Princess Thera, once Empress of Dara, has entrusted the throne to her younger brother and breached the fabled Wall of Storms to take war to the Linkyu. Beset by adversity, Thera attempts to overcome every challenge by doing the most interesting thing, but it is not letting the past dictate the present always possible or even desirable. In Dara, the Linkyu leadership, as well as the surviving Dandelion court, bristle with rivalries as currents of power surge and ebb, and perspectives spin and shift, all nurture the seeds of plans that will take years to bloom. Will tradition yield to new justifications for power? Everywhere the spirit of innovation dances like dandelion seeds on the wind, as the commoners, the forgotten, and the ignored begin to engineer new solutions for a new age. So yeah, I'm going to be reading this. I've been scared to read it because people have been telling me it's really slow. They've been wanting to DNF it. They force themselves to finish the book. So yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it because I read the first 2 and I love the first 2 books. I know a lot of people feel like these last 2 books aren't really their favorite, but I'm gonna give it a try. So I'll be reading The Veiled Throne. And then for Speaking Bones, it says, Okyugong, stalked by foes and dogged by betrayal, Princess Thera is pursued across a continent vaster than she could ever have imagined. She breached the Wall of Storms, intent on taking war to the Linkyu homelands. But how do you conquer the unconquerable? Dara, Empress Jia, Prince Pharaoh, and Pekyu Kamanaki find themselves bound to unintended paths. Now they will discover that the courage of brutes is no substitute for the grace of kings, and that little separates the grace of kings from the madness of tyrants. On both sides of the Wall of Storms, 2 empires bound by blood and bone, by writ and iron, by time and custom, face a whirlwind that threatens to consume them. The teeth, as they say, are on the board. So yes, these are 2 chunky books that I'm only going to be reading this month. I'm not going to push myself. I really want to dedicate most of my TBR, my time, to Blackoween, so that's what I'm going to do. So these are the 3 books separate from Blackoween that I'm going to be reading in October, which I cannot wait to read all 3 of these books. I think they're going to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. And so the next books is for Blackoween, which I'm really excited to share with you all. As you all know, based on my announcement video, which I'll leave it up above just in case you missed it, I am one of the co-hosts for Blackoween, which I'm very excited. And Bree from Bree Reads and I are doing the group read for Laissez-Faire, and that is The Dark Place by Brittney S. Lewis. And it's going to be a fun time. I'm really excited. And just for that particular book, it covers some prompts for Laissez-Faire as well, if you did not know that. And for this particular place, Laissez-Faire, I'm going to be doing or conquering, becoming Investigator Thoreau. So I'll be pursuing or doing 5 to 6 prompts for this particular place. So the first book, which is on my TBR, is of course The Dark Place by Brittney S. Lewis, which I'm really excited to get into. And I'm going to read the synopsis. So it says, 17-year-old Hailey Williams didn't ask to disappear. She didn't ask to move from Kansas City, Kansas, out to the suburbs in Missouri. But she did disappear, and not only that, when she vanished from our world, she materialized in a dark, twisted version of the night that changed her life forever. The night her older brother went missing. Just as Hailey realizes this moment could offer a chance to unravel the truth about her brother, she's yanked away from the dark place back to our world, craving a sense of normalcy. She goes to a party with her best friend where she meets Elam Rhodes, tall, handsome, and undeniably, inexplicably familiar. Hailey can't help the pull she feels toward him. It's a classic girl meets boy situation until it happens again. She disappears right in front of him. Together, Hailey and Elam investigate the truth about time, space, and reality, with Hailey increasingly convinced her time travel holds the key to saving her brother. But the more they learn, the more Hailey begins to see darkness lurking in her world and in herself. Combining the quotable relatability, swooning romance, and an emotional resonance of John Green with the surrealist horror imagery and razor-sharp wit of Jordan Peele, Brittney S. Lewis's sophomore novel is at once haunting, enchanting, and entirely unforgettable. And for this particular book, I'm going to be using the prompt, a book with time jumps, which it does have time jumps. There's time traveling, so I feel like this will be a perfect book for that prompt, which I'm going to be reading this, and I cannot wait for the live discussion, which that will be announced on a later date. So we have this. So this is what I'll be reading for the first prompt of Laissez-Faire. The next prompt is a book with an unreliable narrator, and I'm going to go with When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. I read it before, but I need to read it again because I really don't remember a lot of the details in it. I know the gist of the story, but I want to read it again. So that is another book that I'll be reading, and that's going to be for the second prompt, which again, it's a book with an unreliable narrator. And I'll be once again reading When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. And so the next prompt is a Black classic, which I feel like Tanana Redo is a classic. And, I figured this is a Black classic. So I'm going to go with the second book in the Mortal series, and that is The Living Blood by Tanner Redo. I read the first book, which was My Soul to Keep, which I really enjoyed. I finally figure out why people just are irritated with Jessica. And so now I'm continuing on with the series this year for Blackoween. So for this particular book, it says Jessica Jacobs Wold has somehow survived the worst that any mother or wife could ever endure, the deaths of her husband and first daughter. But now, 4 years later, not only is the nightmare continuing, it may have only just begun. Jessica has discovered the terrifying truth behind the legacy that her husband left to their second daughter, Fauna, a legacy preordained 1,000 years before her time and drenched in the powerful lifeblood that now courses through her veins. As young Fauna begins to display unearthly abilities that are quickly spiraling out of control, she becomes a target of those who will stop at nothing to exploit her power, and the unwitting touchstone in an ancient supernatural battle whose outcome may decide the fate of all humanity. So yes, I'm be reading this, and this is I'm using the prompt for this, the third prompt, which is a Black classic. So I'm going to be going on with this one. So like I said, I'm going to become the Investigator Thoreau for Laissez-Faire. So I'm doing 5 to 6 prompts for this. So here is this book. And the next book is a book with traveling, which this has traveling as well. And this is the third book in the Immortal series by Tannery Dew, and that is Blood Colony. So I'm going with this one as well. I'm really excited to get into this. Like I said, I'm really dedicated on reading this series. I think for the fourth and final book for Immortal series, I'm saving for Blackoween for next year. So for this one, it says, there's a new drug on the street, Glow. Its main ingredient is blood, the blood of immortals. Said to heal almost any illness, it is distributed by the Underground Railroad, a small but powerful colony of drug peddlers slowly wiping out the AIDS epidemic and other diseases around the world. Meet Fauna Wald, 17 years old, the only immortal born with a living blood. She can read minds and her injuries heal immediately. When her best friend, Immortal, is imprisoned by Fauna's family, Fauna helps her escape, and together they run away from Fauna's protected home in Washington State to join the Underground Railroad. But Fauna has more than her parents to worry about. Glow peddlers are being murdered by a violent 100-year-old sect with ties to the Vatican. Now, when Fauna is most vulnerable, she is being hunted to fulfill an ancient blood prophecy that would lead to countless deaths. While her people search for Fauna and race to unravel the unknown sect's mysterious origins, Fauna must learn to confront the deadly forces, or she and everyone she loves will die. So yes, we have another one by Tannery Dew, and I'm really excited to get into this. I'm just excited. It's gonna be a fun time. So I have this one. The next prompt is a Black author outside the US, and I'm gonna go with The Changing Man, and this is by Tomi Ajamakinde. So I'm going to go with this. He is located in the UK, and I've been hearing and seeing people rave about this particular book, and I'm really excited to get into it. It just sounds like it's going to be really fun. It might be creepy or whatnot, but I'm here for it. But it's about a teenage girl is pulled into investigating the truth behind her new boarding school's decades-old legend in this debut young adult speculative thriller. So it is a speculative thriller, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't have the synopsis for this one. It's just going to be a surprise, so I'm real excited to get into this one. And then the next prompt is a free space. So I'm not only conquering laissez-faire this year and becoming investigator Thoreau, but I'm also going to try to conquer Ruby's crew, and of course be investigator Thoreau for this particular place as well. So I have my books. I'm really excited. The group read, which is hosted by Ashley, on her channel, is going to be on the Realm of Comics channel. And the book for this, the group read, is The Dark 30 Southern Tales of the Supernatural, which I'm going to be reading. I'm really excited to read that. And that's going to be also following the prompt, a book set in the summer or spring. And I might combine at least two prompts for this particular location. And I'm going to go with a book when the fifth prompt, a book when a character gets infected. Because I know within the Dark 30 of Southern Tales of the Supernatural, there's multiple stories within it. And I think one of those is, one of the stories is a book where a character gets infected, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to be using two prompts for this particular book, which again is the group read, The Dark 30 Southern Tales of the Supernatural. So that's going to be one of the books that I'm be reading for Ruby's crew. And then the next book, which the first prompt is A Strong Friendship, I'm going to go with Alex Wise versus the End of the World, it just recently came out last month, and I'm really excited to get into this one. So for this particular book, it says, and this is by Terry J. Benson Walker, just to let y'all know, FYI. So for this book, it says, Alex Wise feels like his world is ending. His best friend is leaving Los Angeles for the summer. His former friend and maybe sort of crush hasn't spoken to him since he ditched Alex on the first day of 6th grade. And now Alex's mom is sending him and his annoying younger sister Mags on a cruise with their dad, who abandoned them. Then there's the creepy shadow monster that may or may not be stalking him. But none of that could prepare Alex for the actual end of the world. Too bad that's exactly what's coming after the definitely real Shadow Man kidnaps Mags and she is possessed by the ancient spirit of death, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Now it's Alex equipped with mysterious new powers and his friends versus the otherworldly threats of death, pestilence, famine, and war. Just your average summer vacation. Alex is more used to being left behind than to leading the way, but now he's the only one who can save his sister and the world. So we're going to go with this. It seems like there's a strong friendship in this, so I'm really looking forward to reading this, and I feel like it's just going to be fun. So I'm reading this. The next prompt is Root Magic, which the title of this book is Root Magic, and this is by Eden Royce. I'm really excited to get in this. I've seen people talk about this book. I've seen people read this book for Blackoween particularly, and it's like I got to jump on board with it, and I got to read it for myself. So for this one, it says, it's 1963 and things are changing for Jezebel Turner. Her beloved grandmother has just passed away. The local police deputy won't stop harassing her family. With school integration arriving in South Carolina, Jez and her twin brother Jay are about to begin the school year with a bunch of new kids. But the biggest change comes when Jez and Jay turn 11 and their uncle Doc tells them he's going to train them in root work. Jez and Jay have always been fascinated by the African-American folk magic that has been the legacy of their family for generations, especially the curious potions and powders Doc and Gran would make for the people on their island. But Jez soon finds out that her family's true power goes far beyond small charms and elixirs, and not a moment too soon. Because when evil, both natural and supernatural, comes to show itself in town, it's going to take every bit of the magic she has inside her to see her through. Debut author Eden Royce arrives with a wondrous story of love, bravery, friendship, and family filled to the brim with magic great and small. So yes, I'm going to be reading this. There's a tight knit of strong friendship in here as well. So I mean, and also with this, like this also has someone who's gets infected with, a supernatural, person. So I mean, these go hand in hand. So there's so many prompts that you can use with these books, but you can only use one book for each, one book. You can use it for two prompts for one book and one, in two places. So there's that. So there's possibilities for those. So you can always change it up. And then the next book is, or the next prompt is a book with a secret. So I am going to go with Eden's Everdark. I've heard nothing but great things about this particular book, and this is by Karen Strong, and I'm really looking forward to reading this for Blackoween. But also, I have a book club for my channel as well, and this is also going to be our book club pick. So we're going to have a live discussion at the beginning of November. Yeah, of November for this particular book. So not only am I reading it for Blackoween, but I also chose it as my book club pick. Because I feel like, I want to support Blackoween, and I also want people to engage with, whichever book it is for Blackoween. So this is going to be, I'm using this book for the prompt of a book with a secret, and this is also my book club pick for my members. So let's go ahead and read the synopsis for this one. So it says, when Eden stumbles across an old sketchbook of her mother's while visiting Safina Island, her ancestral home, she's haunted by the images she's seen drawn there. A creepy mansion covered with roots and leaves, a monstrous dog with dagger-sharp teeth, children with deep indigo skin flecked with stars, mouths open as if to scream, and a tall woman with wind-blown hair and long, sharp nails who is as beautiful as she is terrifying. Eden's mother did these drawings many years ago, and she died last year. What could they mean? Days later, exploring the island alone, Eden follows a black cat through a rift in the bright day. She stumbles into Everdark, a parallel world where the sun never rises, where spirits linger between death and the afterlife, and where everything from her mother's drawings is all too real, especially the Witch of Everdark, who wants to make Eden her eternal daughter. Can Eden find a way to defeat the witch's magic, or will she remain trapped in Everdark forever? So yeah, there is that, and that's going to go with a book with a secret, because I think it goes with the prompt, because Eden's mom and the drawings and stuff apparently she didn't know nothing about, so it was like a secret. So I'm really excited to get into this, and I just love this cover. It's so beautiful. I love it. So, and then of course the sixth prompt for Ruby's Crew is a free space. So I'm really excited to get into reading all of these books this month, especially for Blackoween. So for Blackoween, I'm at least reading, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll be reading 9 books for Blackoween. And then, of course, I'm reading 3 other books separate from Blackoween that I'll be reading for the month of October. And here they are. These are all the books I plan on reading for Blackoween, and like I said, for October in general. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please, please, please give me a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you all for watching. I'm really excited to be participating in Blackoweenathon once again. This is going to be fun. And I'll be having reading sprints later on this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just come and join us. It's going to be a fun time. And also, it's for Blackoween. These are Blackoween sprints. So what does that mean? We're going to be reading books by Black authors. So just FYI, if y'all join me, y'all know what to expect. But once again, thank you all for joining and watching this video. And I can't wait to see y'all in just a little bit for reading sprints. But have a great day, everyone. And I hope you are staying healthy and staying safe. See ya.